Real Plumber replies to comments. Look, being on social media, I get comments from a lot of people about a lot of different things. Well, today I'm actually replying to them right here on the air. A lot of these I have not seen. We're going to go through them and I want to talk to you about them and give you my honest feedback. You can't get into social media and have thin skin. People tear me up all the time. If I do anything wrong, say the wrong word, anything at all, I get comments from everybody. That's fine. I can handle that. Truth about it is though, you know what? I still love what I do. Whether you're new here or not, if you haven't done it yet, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. And if there are any of my videos that you want to comment on, go ahead. Maybe I'll bring you up in here one day. Albert Peinstein says, I want to know what Uponor will do in that machine. Now, we recently did a video for QuickFitting, and it was a sponsored video. We went up to Providence, Rhode Island. We compared QuickFitting to press fittings to Sharkbite, another push-to-connect fitting. I think push-to-connect fittings are probably going to be the biggest things in the future, especially when you look at what they're doing at QuickFitting and the pressures they're testing to. I'm not sure if he's talking about the pressure test or if he's talking this tensile strength test, but either way, I've reached out to the people. Our pressure test machine just came in. It will test up to 10,000 pounds. It's about 100 times more than any home water plumbing system you'll run into, but 10,000 pounds, come on, I want to see what it'll do. Next comment, Joseph Phipps 917, the rubber washer in Sharkbite. That's what fails. Omnibar says ProPress using original also. That's what plumbers are converting to these days. And Joseph replies back, yeah, but the O-ring in Sharkbite doesn't have pressure on it as ProPress and will fail over time if the pipes have any type of movement. Joseph, Omnibar, the O-ring is probably what fails. To be honest, if the pipe going in is not prepared properly, it can scratch that O-ring, nick it, it can do different things. One thing I like about the QuickFitting is the 2 O-rings in there. If you're gonna do something, do it right, double test it, double check it, make sure it works. I'm pretty sure it is the O-ring that fails because that's what actually creates the seal. Like I said a while ago, we're gonna start doing a lot more testing to see what the problem really is. Andy B, well, he's from Boston and I've already seen the top line, so here we go. Completely useless information. No one is using this type of fitting for pressures remotely close to this. Blowing apart and leaking, weeping are very different things caused by different issues. Leaks are why tradesmen choose one fitting over another. Show me the different fittings used on all sorts of old, crappy pipes, deformed pipes, corroded, etc., and show which ones tend to leak the most. That's all that matters. Andy, I don't disagree with you, but when I have people telling me that Sharkbite is better than solder, I know better. And I've proved it. I've also seen it out in the field. We go out and repair more Sharkbite leaks than we do solder joints every day of the week. I just need to show people what it'll do, what it's rated at, and it was clearly to see that QuickFitting outranked both press fittings and Sharkbite on both tests. Derek McGowan says, what would the real life scenario be that would result in these high pressures? Derek, to be honest with you, there's nothing that's going to result in these high pressures, but we're trying to just compare apples to apples. So the only way to see it in a situation we can control is actually increase the pressures. Now the tensile strength, well, out in California where they have earthquakes and things move around, you've got to think the plumbing in the wall could get pulled around or move around too. I don't know what pressures or poundage that'll go up to, but think about it. If a wall falls off of a house, which we've seen it, and you know, if you're in California and it ever opens up, there's gonna be a lot of them falling there. At that point, you're probably not worrying about whether your plumbing is holding or not. But anyway, the tensile strength, where it pulls. I doubt that any plumbing installation would ever see that kind of weight pulled against it. But if you're gonna test fittings, you've gotta have something to test them to. By testing to the tensile strength, the poundage that we have that it took to pull it apart, I think that we've proven QuickFitting is better than press fittings and better than Sharkbite. Is it as good as a solder joint or a braze joint? No, but you know what? Nothing is, but now that we've got the new testing equipment, we really want to see what we can test it up to. Rudy Jenks says, I'd like to see how threaded, black, and galvanized compares. Rudy, we would too. That's what we bought the equipment for. Look, to spend several $1,000s on testing equipment is one thing. To do it for a reason, man, that makes it worth it. Beer before breakfast, now that is the name of a YouTube channel. You skip the most versatile fitting of all and possibly the strongest, compression fittings. Please don't forget them. What I said in my reply to the previous comment, I definitely want to test compression. I want to test compression and I want to test it, then pull it apart, put another one back on and test it again. Just want to see how the ferrule remover works. Does it mess up the metal? Does it do anything? There's so many things I'm wanting to do and try, so thank you very much. This is something I'm looking forward to. Jay Nash says, Roger, wow, what a test. Since I currently have copper throughout the custom home and after your education, I have refused hiring a plumber to install Sharkbite over soldering a leak repair. Later, I needed to install a cutoff and the same old story. We don't solder now as it's not necessary. Sharkbite. I said no. I ended up having someone install Everbuilt half-inch compression by half-inch compression lead-free brass ball valve with the drain. How does the compression rate against the quick fitting? Thanks, Jeanette. Miss Jeanette, look, I am going to test it. I have not done this yet. Our compressor just came in today. We unboxed it, and I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, once I test it, I promise you, I'm gonna get it put up on YouTube, and we'll let you know. Sharkbite is a good fitting. I really think that Sharkbite's biggest problem is they didn't let people know the proper way to install it each and every time. That's why they have so many leaks. My thing is, QuickFitting did better. There's no doubt about it. I see a reason for push-to-connect fittings. I don't see a reason to keep installing one that's known to leak over and over and over again. That's why I don't like Sharkbite. Media on Display says, I feel like Sharkbite did pretty well too, but these new Quick Connect fittings seem better. There are quick fittings, and yes, they are quick connect because they're push to connect. But yeah, quick fitting is the name of it. If they are the same price or cheaper than Sharkbite, I'd use them. They are. Quick connect fittings can be really useful when doing plumbing in wall and soldering a joint isn't really an option. Media on Display, I don't disagree with you, but I will tell you this. In all my years of plumbing before Sharkbite came around, I never found a situation where we couldn't get in there and solder. So think about it. For years, for hundreds of years, for however many years copper and solder has been around, plumbers have found a way to fix it. We don't just tear down a house and rebuild it because we can't make a joint. We have always found a way. So is it possible? Absolutely. Does a push-to-connect fitting make it easier? Yeah, it does. But think about this. If you've got a solder joint already in there, it was soldered at some point, probably not before the studs went up. And if you've got to get in there to cut it or get it to a point that you could put a push-to-connect fitting on there, you've got room to work anyway. So anyway, man, there's always a different way to look at it, but I got to tell you, quick fitting definitely outperforms Sharkbite on every test. Now, here's the last one. Ron Lovell, good to see you in here, sir. Ron Lovell says, love seeing the test like that. Now, what about freezing? Ron, if you heard me before, you're gonna love this one. It says, what about freezing? Because that creates those extreme pressures and the weakest points in systems are these fittings. Completely agree. I still believe press-on fittings are junk in cold climates, but I'm curious about Smart Click by Legend. Never heard of that one. It's push-in permanent system that is not removable and has a spring-loaded stainless steel clamp inside. You know what, Ron? I'll look it up. I haven't seen it, but I'll do some testing if I can find them. Guys, if you've got comments that you think, man, Roger's just really blown it here, or, oh my God, I think I'm in love with him. Whichever way, it really doesn't matter to me. I love hearing what y'all think and what y'all want to see more of. Anyway, I'm Roger Wakefield, helping you make more money in the trades.